Not all roads are built the same. Some make the journey far more enjoyable than others. But if you can build a life where you're enjoying both the journey and beautiful destinations, then you're doing pretty alright in life. That's something I never forget in the moments when it all starts to feel like a bit too much and I find myself becoming easily overwhelmed. Behind the scenes, I've been growing more and more concerned about the well-being and safety of my home and vehicle truck. Dealing with my van on this remote island isn't what I had planned nor what I really wanted to be doing, but it had quickly become undeniable that I had to take action. So before heading out to this beautiful beach, I asked around and made some calls to get the ball rolling. Once settled into camp out on the open coast, I chose to put my van worries aside and enjoy an evening on the beach with my mate Flossie, savoring the changing light, crashing waves, and even a little aurora show. I'm actually running back into town. It's about 25, maybe 30 minutes from here because I'm going pretty slow. So I gotta go see a mechanic about my van. I thought it would make it till I was off the island, and I think it will, but yesterday when I drove up here, I noticed the alignment was like way off from before, so I'm just looking into starting to get some of the parts changed. I have to do both the lower control arms, and so I'm going to see the only guy on the island who has the tool to do that. He wanted me to come by and just have a look and just talk about if it's something he'll be able to do and then make a plan for that. But I do like the idea of doing work here because people are so friendly and it's just like a smaller pace of things, and you know, it's my home, so I'll be able to hang out there. But yeah, I also, turns out I need the sway bar bushings. So yeah, it's gonna be expensive, which sucks, but my van will ride a lot better after. And because the suspension parts all went, the alignment went, my tires are shot. They're like really worn and cupping and they're just so bad. So I have to get all the parts replaced and then get an alignment and then get new tires. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that my rear brake drums are on their max setting, so those are gonna need to be replaced soon as well. Anyways. Who is that, Frank?
Look how his nose squishes up.
I know.
Nose wrinkles. You getting your nutrients and proteins?
Does the ground taste good here?
Yeah, so salty and delicious. Oh, my mineral.
Are you an ambassador for Eat Haida?
Eat Haida. He's gonna get his commission from Tourism Haida later. Oh, you're so cute.
I had made my trip into town as quick as possible so that I could enjoy such a nice sunny day at camp, even if it was pretty windy and chilly. Frank didn't seem to mind the weather though and wanted to enjoy the grass in the sun, so I joined him with my journal to help get some of the clutter in my head down on paper. I've become someone who's pretty good at not getting ahead of myself with worry, which is for the best because it meant I wasn't even imagining the horrible issues with truck's front end I would later find out about. In the moment, I was just grateful to have found someone whom I had a good feeling about to do the work on my van, which motivated me to get organized for the other tasks I had been ignoring and make the most of the evening out and about on an adventure with Flossie. Now, I studied it carefully first. I knew I wasn't going to get swept out to sea. I have a very serious question for you.
Yes.
Are you bored of this walk?
Lay me down and plank me.
That is very out of focus. That is a baby green berry right there. Hee. I have honestly been feeling really overwhelmed with life lately. I feel like I have way too much stuff. I have too many things to do. I have too much on the go. I feel like it's just like sand slipping through my fingers. Like I can't quite catch up, and it's all slowly falling apart around me, like while I'm also building. And I see that in society around me. Like as I drive through towns, you see like the new stuff being built, and then like all this sections of town or houses or buildings and stuff just decaying and empty spots, and like people not repairing things or not properly decommissioning things and just letting stuff rot while like furiously building new things and trying to expand. And I honestly find it all like really stressful to see in the world around me, because it's also a reminder that that's happening in my own life. I have so many van projects I need to do, and I kind of just spent the past year really focused on like having adventures and going places and looking after Frank, and have neglected some things not really hugely consequential things, but it's just so many little things I've neglected that it's become stressful. Vehicle stuff, build house stuff. I still just feel like I have way too much stuff in here. I have 2 storage lockers, so I want to get those consolidated. And it's just been really, really, really overwhelming. And yeah, it's made me feel like a little like less present, and in times like I want to just hide from it, which isn't productive because then I'm not like actually enjoying my life, and I'm also not getting anything done, and I'm kind of just like frozen and like in a state of just like being like paralyzed by the overwhelm of everything I need to do. And I feel this strong longing to just live in a backpack, just the bare necessities, and just live in a backpack and sleep in a tent and walk around places and just be completely free from schedules and just like the burden of material belongings. And I already live such a simple life, and I know that like owning a vehicle and owning a house and like it's all just a lot of stuff, like it's constant to do's. I know people who live in houses who it's like there's just constantly so many things to do. I'm sure some of you feel that, and I feel like lately it's been taking me away from really being present and enjoying life, because I'll be out, say like walking on the beach and thinking about the things I need to do. And that's not good. And, you know, I love my career on YouTube. It's so awesome because no matter what, I would be out filming and taking photos. But now by doing a bunch more work, I get to fund my life with it. And that means I can really, really give Frank a great life and look after him. But before I was on YouTube, I had so much free time. So much free time. I was always so chill. I was like borderline getting bored. Like the things that needed to do were always getting done. Anyways, all of that to say that the feelings of being overwhelmed have like led me to question a lot of different life choices, like basically everything about how I'm living now, if I want to change how I'm living, how I socialize, just all of that has just been on my mind. And one thing I prioritized or have decided to prioritize is that no matter what, I will go outside, I will enjoy nature and be present and try to do it without thinking of the things I need to do, because I can't do those things while I'm being out in nature, and just really prioritize that, because that is kind of the point of all of this to begin with. There's no point looking after my van or focusing on my career if I'm not enjoying the reason that I'm doing all of it. And now today it is a overcast, kind of drizzly day, and me and Frank have just had like the nicest slow morning. I changed his foot bandage. It's looking great. His foot looks really healthy. The open wound is continuing to shrink, so I feel really positive about that. And it's the perfect day for editing, but first I'm going to go out on the beach. I'm going to put on my wetsuit booties and my raincoat, and I'm going to go out and just enjoy a walk down to the point and back, and just be really present with that, so that when I come back to the van, I can just really enjoy focusing on editing and not feel torn with the desire to go be outside. I got my puffy coat on under my rain jacket because it is quite chilly, but it feels great to be walking in the ocean, in the sand. I haven't felt any water come through my booties yet, but I know I will feel wet soon. And yeah, it's my first time wearing them actually, and yeah, I'm excited to have them. Glad I picked those up in Tofino. Hi, Frankie. Hi, bud. I'm home. That was a great walk, but I am wet. After I came around the point, yeah, the wind was a lot more intense and the raindrops were a lot bigger and closer together. And yeah, the closer I got to the van, the worse the weather was. But I still have a huge grin on my face. I really enjoyed that. Really glad I got out. Oh, I'm wet. So I'm going to take off all my wet clothes. Oh boy, that's not bad. Take off all my wet clothes and make some food because I'm also so hungry. I didn't plan to go that far. I went like 3 times as far as I was expecting. So gonna make lunch. But first, I think Frankie deserves a treat for enduring my absence. Yeah. Thank you. Love you, bud. Oh, that's so good. I've just made myself a cup of decaf. I'm all dried off. Super cozy clothes on. Frank is just there eating a treat I gave him this morning. I guess he only ate half of it and saved the other half. So he's enjoying double treats. And for lunch dinner, I'm going to boil some potatoes, which I can do inside on my pocket rocket. This is the large canister. I think it's the 16 ounce, and it will last me a month without rationing it. So it's like $13. And then I also use the white gas stove outside, but it is very windy and kind of rainy, and sometimes the wind kind of throws the ocean on shore, and the tide's coming up. So it's just, I don't want to be out there cooking. So I'm glad I got out when I did. And I'm glad I have this stove for cooking stuff inside. So after I boil the potatoes, I'm going to heat up this Tuscan white bean and kale soup with a bit of extra water and some of the potatoes after they're cooked. And maybe some other seasonings, and just kind of try to make it a little better and a more filling meal, and call that dinner lunch. And so actually this door here up above, if I don't slam it super hard, then there's like a gap, like a centimeter. In some places, almost 2 centimeters, which is close to an inch, but at least a half an inch all the way around of just gap. So if it's really windy, the wind will come in the van. But if I'm boiling stuff here, the steam will go out there. And the reason I have that gap is because when I took the door off to replace the door seals, I didn't get it back on properly straight. And so it's a little crooked, and so then the new seals don't allow it to close properly unless I slam it really, really hard. It's another one of those things on my like long-standing to-do list. But it's something that's kind of difficult to do alone, and once I get into it, it could be a couple hours just doing fiddly, annoying stuff. So I'm just, yeah, waiting for the right moment. Hopefully this summer, hopefully can find someone strong to help me, as the door is heavy. But yeah, I'm not going to deal with it right now. And then after I eat, I will take all this wet stuff that's hanging here, spread it across, put the heater on, crank it, it will dry, and just enjoy a cozy, cozy, cozy evening editing. I'm so excited for it. So I saved some of the potato water and I put in a onion broth cube. And now I'm just breaking up these potatoes before adding the soup. But they're so hot. Oh boy. I just don't want to wait. I'm super hungry. I thought it would be like a lunch dinner, but it's definitely just going to be dinner. Oh, those potatoes are so good in here. I'm so glad I did it this way with the broth cube and the potatoes. It is perfect for a day like today. Oh, amazing. I needed this. I have a really hard time slowing down when the weather is nice. I tend to like go. And then I have to stay up really late to get enough stuff done. But it does seem like the sun might come out, so we'll see how much editing I get done tonight. Hello! You have emerged from your editing den.
I have barely emerged all day, but it is not raining now, so like...
Enjoy it while you can.
Yes.
Whereas I was just finally ready to start editing. I can't now, there's blue sky.
Well,
it'll get dark eventually.
Percentage of blue sky.
Yeah, but I mean, it'll get dark eventually. Hello. I wasn't up for leaving camp today, so I cooked a pot of lentils. And then I started cooking a pot of potatoes. It's there. But then the rain like actually started coming down. So I've tied this door to the carabiner there so it'll stay closed, because otherwise it won't close unless it's latched into this door that I'm cooking on. And I can't close that door while I'm cooking potatoes because I'm cooking it on my Whisper Light, which does not burn anywhere near as clean as my Pocket Rocket, even when I'm using white gas, which I only use because it is the cleanest option for this stove. So, yeah, it's there's definitely some water coming in the van. That's okay. And those potatoes, like I had kind of just started them. I guess I could have aborted it, but I just really wanted to accomplish like getting some food cooked that I can then like make into other stuff in here. But yeah, I guess it's gonna rain for a while. All right, my potatoes are cooked and the rain has stopped, so I have my doors wide open and my back propped up. So yeah, I'm just watching the waves come in. They're really nice. And yeah, it's one of the great things about living in a van is I can be home, I can be cozy, I can be in bed, I can be feeling subpar, and I can still be at the beach enjoying nature. And I love that about living in a van. And yeah, actually getting back on the road to come up here made me just feel way better about living in a van than I had been. That was a good one. I had been feeling like a little sick of van life and starting to contemplate settling down a bit more or creating a life more based on a location rather than being all over the place as I have been for many years. And I was starting to like really feel like a desire for like things that are more fixed. And then I got on the road and all of that just washed away. And yeah, it kind of like comes in waves throughout like my whole time living in a van, where van life is the best thing ever. And then a few months later, it's like, oh, wow, this is really wearing on me. And then I start to think maybe I should do something else with my life. And then something changes and I feel like van life's the best thing ever. And you know, I turned 39 a couple months ago, and that got me kind of spiraling a little bit about the fact that I don't have any plan for my life. I don't know what I'm doing. And then combining that feeling of uncertainty with like just kind of overwhelm of like my material world and all the to-dos I constantly have to do because of this career I built myself, which are, all things I love, but it just became a lot. It became really, really intense and overwhelming feeling. And yeah, I was just been questioning my life a lot, and I simultaneously want to like live in a van forever and run away and live out of a backpack and, you know, be stationary, even if that means renting because I can't afford to own a bunch of land, which is what I really want. And, I also want to live on a boat, and it's like I can barely even swim. Yet I cannot let go of this dream. And so, you know, I think I let my desire for change, even if I wasn't clear on what that change was going to be, create a lot of suffering within. And yeah, I've worked to like let that go. I feel a lot calmer now. This is the life Frank knows. He's been in the van with me now for over 10 years as well. So yeah, it's great. He loves it. He's really happy to be on the road, and I am as well. And so yeah, I feel good about that. And maybe I don't need a plan. Maybe I can just go through the rest of my life just drifting with the tides and just living in the moment. Just having a nice time, trying to have a nice time, eating well, looking after my body, savoring time in nature. Maybe I don't need any more, and it's okay to not have a plan, not to build something bigger, and yeah, just chill. I think if something really calls to me, I can make that happen. And if it doesn't really call to me, then this is a really, really good default setting. But yeah, I've just been feeling torn between just kind of all the options at my fingertips that I could do anything except buy land. But like I could rent somewhere and I could live a stationary life if that's what I really wanted. And yeah, so it's kind of like it's a blessing and a curse in this modern age to have so many options at our fingertips. And then, I really enjoy my friendships, but I've also felt a longing for a long time now to like be more alone, be alone for longer periods of time, to like hermit more. So yeah, I'm just like always a little bit torn, but really focusing on trying to like stay in the present moment these days and just take it like one thing at a time and just keep putting away at all the projects I need to do. And yeah, just like really be honest with myself about things I'm purchasing, maybe things I can let go of. And yeah, I think I'm just going to be playing the long game and hope that yeah, maybe come autumn I feel like a little mellower about everything, because yeah, it's been a weird winter and spring inside my head. Yeah, these waves are great, so I think I'm actually gonna go sit outside for a bit and enjoy them.
Let me just fix that. Fire tender.